Taiwan is bursting with heaps of fun places to explore. Join me, Amber Hatfield, as I hit up travel hotspots, soak up some culture, and hunt down hidden gems. Let's go! Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Go. I'm Amber, your host, and today I am joined by the lovely Phil Laskowski again.
Once again. Wow.
But
honored.
this time though, we're back to the usual. It's me asking the questions. And I wanted Phil to come on the show because he recently went to a music festival. And that's something that I've actually not featured on Let's Go before, any music festivals. So I thought it'd be cool to get your opinion about that. So can you first tell me what music festival it was that you went to?
Right, so it's called Vagabond Festival, and it's a festival in Tainan, near the port, where a lot of bands gather, and it's a good time. It was for the reference, it was in October 5th, 6th, somewhere. And yeah, it was my first Taiwanese festival.
So what kind of music was it?
I think you see a whole bunch of various bands. There was some rap, some DJs, there was some little drum and bass kind of thing, electronic, but mostly I would say it was some kind of indie pop rock bands.
Oh, okay.
Live music mostly. Yeah.
That sounds really good because most of the festivals that I've heard of or that my friends have been to are more kind of like electronic music festivals. Right. So I've not really heard of one that's got that type of music.
Right. I would say still the bigger one dominating from what I heard, like Megaport. And this one, and then Spring Scream, which we used to be in Kenting, are mostly still live band instrument oriented, but yeah.
So what was the kind of overall vibe like? Like, how was it? Was it pretty chill, or was it kind of... Because, I mean, European festivals are one thing, right? So what's the vibe there?
Right, so here's the thing. I just came from Europe not long ago, and I had the chance to go to 2 festivals and 4 concerts. So I was very still in it. And when I got to Taiwan, I couldn't help myself but to compare the festival here and there. So here's the thing. First of all, there was a typhoon, some leftover of typhoon. So the program it was supposed to be a 3-day festival. But because of the typhoon, it got short to 2 days only. So the Friday program got kind of canceled and moved around to Saturday. And for the reference, just you can imagine, the headliner from Friday was the starting of the festival on Saturday at 9:30 a.m.
Okay.
9:30 a.m., right? We go there because it's a band that we wanted to kind of listen. And there's so many people. 9:30 a.m., you know. So that doesn't, first of all, you know, a lot of people just come to the festival when it's like, when we went to one back home, most of the people show at like 2, 3, 4, somewhere there. And then it's packed at night, you know. They have different activities. They do something else. They're still sleeping, catching up. But this was, 9:30 it started. And for October 5th, it was extremely hot. So everybody was kind of looking for a shade to hide in. And, but the overall atmosphere was very nice, very relaxed, very... Good first impression.
That's good. Yeah, it does sound quite different because I feel like our festivals in Europe or in the UK as well, like they're quite more kind of directed towards the evening time, right? So everything gets pumping in the night and even like really late in the night, early hours of the morning.
This ended at 10. So to give you an idea, they make the full of the daylight and of the hours. And then I think because of the residential area or something, they don't want to be too loud. So the music kind of shuts off at 10, maybe 10:30, and that's it. Everybody just disperses and goes. One very important thing to mention, a difference, would be people dancing and enjoying themselves, whereas European festival would be more on the wilder side, and people would be under...
the influence,
alcohol and different substances, let's say. And Taiwan was very much like straight, so nobody was doing anything crazy. People were like very respectfully standing, a couple of people moving and swaying their bodies, but it mostly looked not as crazy as European one. I would say that.
Was it kind of like a family-oriented festival as well? Like, was it kind of a kids thing with parents and families there?
Not really, actually. We had that in Europe, so it was like kind of family friendly. You had a little corner where you can play with kids and all that. But this one was mostly, I would say the dominant category was 20 to 40 or something like that. Yeah, so very...
Okay. Yeah, so I was going to ask you as well, like, what was the size of the crowd? Like, was it pretty big? Like, I mean, I guess when I think about festivals, I normally think about a multi-day festival. I'll think of festivals in the UK, like Glastonbury Festival or Reading or Leeds Festival, which are multi-day, and then you also camp there. So was this like a really large festival on that kind of scale and people also camping overnight, or is it not a camping kind of festival?
There was a camping ground area, but due to the size of the whole ground, the camping area wasn't that big from what I'm used to. So honestly, a lot of people, and I think it also has to do with culture, like since the festival is right there and around there's plenty of Airbnbs and hotels, they were all kind of booked out. So I would say majority of the festival lived outside, and some of the like true, diehards, go-hards would camp in the middle of it and just be near the music all the time.
Okay. So where did you stay?
We stayed at my girlfriend's brother's house because he lives in Tainan.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about the music.
Yeah.
What are some of the artists or some of the people that were playing that really stood out to you? Maybe there was someone that you hadn't heard of or you found out while you were there, or maybe there was someone that you kind of directly wanted to go there for that you want to tell me about.
Right. So I did this other show called Island Tunes, right? And it was nice to see the artists that I was describing and playing their music suddenly in front of you live. So there was, if you ever heard of La Wang Yue Dui, and Cao Dong Mei Pai Dui, and let's say Wendy Wonder, just like bands you kind of know about, you heard their music, and now you see them live. So it was very nice to see their concerts live for the first time. Even though I did not know majority of the artists, I still knew just a couple of them, maybe 20% or something. It was still nice to just go from, just like always at a festival, from stage to stage and kind of explore the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was very nice.
Did you pick up any new bands that you would now have kind of added to your playlist?
Yeah, definitely. There was a Japanese funk band that I was digging and dancing to. And Wendy Wonder, if you ever heard of those guys, I think they surprised, because I'm mostly oriented towards kind of groovy, funky music. So their live set was amazing. On the CD, they sound different. They do more bedroom pop, kind of like dreamy stuff at some point, because it's more popular in Taiwan. But their older album and hits, they could really rock out their live. It was nice. And there was this other girl called Joyce. She was just a great performer in general. And I talked to her if she would like to come on Taiwan Grooves. So I hope that will happen.
And so who did you actually go to the festival with?
Well, officially me and my girlfriend, and then Chingan was there, and we met maybe 2 or 3 other friends that we knew that they were going there. So we kind of just met up to catch up, talk, and have fun. Yeah.
Are there any things about the festival that you think could have been better, like maybe the way it was organized or anything like that?
All right. I'm glad you asked this question, because I've been kind of nagging for a couple of minutes or something to people around saying like, why isn't this like this? Why isn't this there? Why isn't this like this? And I do definitely have some improvement suggestions.
Okay.
I hope the people organizing are listening.
Let's hear it.
Bring
him on.
All right. General organization, I think, was done very well. Like, from the point where you get your, what do you call them? Wristbands and all that, where you have to go, like people being helpful, volunteers, like plenty of that. I feel like the general organization was flawless, very good. But definitely one point that comes to mind is some stages, whoever did the musical engineering thing, sitting in the booth, being the music sound guy, did a horrible job at some point, because louder does not mean better. Like, speakers have their own limit where the sound starts to crack, and it kind of sounds like it doesn't even sound good anymore. And that happened for a while. Like we wanted to go to the front to see the performance like close up, and then we couldn't stay because it was just so loud. It was damaging your ear. And I don't know if the people there did not mind, or they're used to it, or the hearing is, I don't know if I'm oversensitive to my hearing, but it was to the point where you would be like, wow, it's loud, but to the point where, you know, like the mic is jumping to the red range, and you're like, okay, that shouldn't be happening. So that would be something like, I was shocked that happens, because they're professional guys, right? It's their job. They're doing that. But I feel like they didn't really come down and experience it like, okay, it sounds bad.
So it seems like there wasn't too much of a kind of like a pre-run or something. Like maybe they didn't really...
I really don't know what went wrong, honestly. So I was shocked at that. It's such a basic thing to fix and to have in order, you know. So that was kind of...
Sound guys, don't rub Philip the wrong way. He's mad about this.
that was really something I was mad about, for sure. That was grinding my gears. But all right, next up is urinals. Lack of urinals.
Oh, okay.
Guys and girls sharing the same toilets. You know, and then girls being disgusted by what's happening there. It's
Well, you guys are pretty gross.
I guess we are, but you know.
But also,
but we use it. Wait, you have the toy, right? You know how it looks like.
You mean like a toilet cubicle?
Toilet cubicle. You go in and you have your urinal, right? So it wasn't. We still have a urinal inside, so it wasn't our thing to make it that dirty, I hope. But the festival I went to back home, you have the urinals kind of like separate, just standing urinals, so that all the people waiting for toilet, the guys can just directly hop in, and all the toilets are just for girls. Doesn't it make more sense?
Yeah, I guess it does kind of make more sense. I mean, normally the girls' queue, this is something I could complain about forever as well, is that like I feel like they should always just prepare more toilet cubicles for girls, because it's just always a queue and there's just so much more to do. Like you have to pull everything down and, you know, whatever. So I feel like it's just, we need more toilets, to be honest. But also I think having them separate is just probably just cleaner and just nicer in general. Yeah,
just a little bit, you know, like if you already have to queue up, just queue up with the girls, fight with the girls for the toilet. All right. I think people were overusing water and then it just kind of ran out, so they had to fill it up. Drinking water, you had to pay, so like fill it up. That was fine because there's drinking water. I don't mind at all. But like water where you wash your hands and, you know, it's October, but it was like 34 degrees. So I was wearing long sleeves, long everything just to not get sunburned. Still managed to get sunburned because, I'm white as tofu. But, you know, I would just take off my shirt, put it underwater, kind of to keep me cool and all that. I guess hundreds of people do that, and then there was no water. Suddenly there were two sinks that were functioning properly. So maybe take into consideration that is one thing you need to also just bring more water.
Any more complaints, Phil?
No. It's called constructive feedback.
Constructive criticism. Yeah. That's well, what about food? Because normally at festivals they have like lots of burger vans or different stalls that are selling food. Was that also offered as well?
All right, that you know, yeah, you hit it on the head. That's my another complaint. Like there was, I would say, 2 or 3 times as more stalls selling crafts, sunglasses, clothes, anything you can think of, than food. Whereas I'm used to, it's more like you have all these food stands and you can eat and all that. And being from a vegetarian family, there were, I think, only 2 or 3 stands, which I for Taiwan found very low. Yeah,
because normally there's a lot of food stands, you know. I would imagine kind of like almost a night market type stand area with lots of food available.
I don't know. Some people would say it was enough. Probably for people who found their stuff there was enough. But I felt like at least in every one of those stalls or a vendor, they would be like, they would have their option and have something on site for vegetarian, vegan people. And here it was like, you want vegetarian, vegan, just go to this stand, 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Price-wise, it was okay. Of course, there's some margin, and you should expect that. But again, the location was pretty okay. You could have just gone out, walk for 15, 20 minutes, and you would get to traditional Doha or something. Like close to the Amping beach, I would say. So there's beautiful sunset there. So we also caught that. We went for a swim because it was so hot. So to to the sea. Yeah. So yeah. All right, I'm done complaining. Hit me with some positive questions.
What would you say was one of the memorable moments that you had at the festival?
Honestly, this one's kind of twisted, but it comes up to my mind right away. People were more vibing and in sync together in earlier hours, which in Europe it's kind of the opposite, right? There was, I don't know which band or a rapper, and to see this whole crowd of, I don't know, 500 and more people just doing the same hand gesture. And it just looks nice, the unity and all that, because I like people having fun. I like that everybody's dancing, everybody's vibing. Like, there's no talking videos, anything like that. You're just having fun because of the music. So some artists could get the people moving, dancing, but I think it was specifically one rap guy, and it was somewhere 2-3 in the afternoon where just everybody was just feeling it, what he was dropping, spitting bars. And I felt like, oh my god, this is Taiwanese Bronx. Like, it feels good. Just feels nice.
Yeah, if you could see Phil, he was just moving his hand up and down, like pumping the air there with his hand to recreate that motion.
Oh yeah, we were gangster back then. That was really nice.
Yeah, so actually that's a good one to mention, because I feel like a lot of the time these days at any kind of festival or performance, there's often people with their phones up in the air and they're just basically seeing everything through their phone, and there's always phones up. So was that not really happening? Were people more kind of in the moment and not really videoing everything?
I think it was better. I think it was better than a concert. Like, most of the people were standing. After every song that finishes, you have the woo, and that's that's it. A little bit. I feel like it has to do with daylight, so that little shyness maybe, and people not being gone and drunk and all that.
Oh yeah.
But I must admit, it was the best from what I've seen from like concerts and all that. Like, people were enjoying themselves a lot. Some people were really dancing. Some people at least a little bit of movement and all that, standing. Like, it wasn't just quiet sitting with phones out. They did a great job on this one.
So overall, what would be your score for this festival, for your whole experience, and would you go again?
All right, I was pleasantly surprised. Minus, of course, I think the biggest issue was just the sound guy. The other ones, I can eat the same food. Like, I don't have high expectations for that. Weather you can control. So you get a shade, you bring your own clothes, you do preparation, you put on sunscreen. I would say solid 7.5, 8 on a good day. If you gave me a ticket, hey, go out. I would be there in heartbeat.
Well, we'll see you there next year then, Vagabond Festival. Tickets are on me.
Yay! Everybody, let's go.
That's all for this week's episode of Let's Go. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week.